Yo, what is up guys, Gray here, and today we have got our draft analysis for the UPBA, a brand new Wi-Fi draft league created again by myself. I have a problem, I keep creating new leagues, but this one's Wi-Fi, so it's different, I guess. I don't know, but it's kind of based on along the same lines of the PTL. So the draft is going to be a points-based system instead of a tier-based system. Each mon has its own points, and yeah, we have 120 points to spend, 25 on Z budget, and you've got to draft between 10 and 11 mons. So getting right into it, we had the third pick, as you can see by the thing at the bottom, down, no, that way. We were third in the order, so not a bad place to be. We could pick up something really powerful, because if you aren't aware, in the PTL we allow things like Age Slash, the Mega Lattes, and Tapu Lele, Mega Mawile, some things that other leagues ban, but we're not necessarily S tier, but it's like on the border. So yeah, I was expecting things like Lele, AG, and maybe one of the Mega Lattes to go first or second. I wasn't expecting to get like Lele and Mega Latte, basically. I thought those were the two that were going to go, so I was looking at the sheet and I was thinking, you know what, I kind of want Tapu Koko. I've used it for one battle in a league. That is it. That league is still going, but it's kind of very casual, so nobody's really taking it too seriously. And I really wanted to use it in a proper league, but unfortunately, as it does in every league, it went first. So I was then left with the choice of Mega Latias and Tapu Lele, and I decided that I was going to go with Mega Latias, just because it's much more versatile than Tapu Lele is. Tapu Lele is a fantastic wall breaker, but it doesn't really do anything else, and I really wanted something that was going to be it was going to give me some kind of options, and Mega Latias is very versatile. It can be physical or special, it can be bulky, it can be a fast defogger, it can be a bulky defogger, it can be something of a cleric. It doesn't get heal bell, but it does get wish, so it can pass off wishes. It does get healing wish as well. So yeah, Mega Latias is just a fantastic mon, great coverage. Its special attack stat is ridiculous. Its special defense stat is even higher, jeez. But yeah, it's just a fantastic mon. It could be great setup. It can be a straight up wall breaker with Draco Meter and Psychic. You can run Stall Power sets. It can be mixed with Earthquake as well, depending on what kind of thing you're going to need. So yeah, Mega Latias, I don't really feel like I need to say any more. Really, it's just a great mon. It's banned in other leagues for a reason, because it is so fat and so powerful, and still like ridiculously quick as well. It's probably one of the fastest mons on my draft. So after that, I'd say that I kind of wanted to get just a fat Dragonsteel Fairy Core. If I could get something gross with my initial kind of core, then I could pick up some offense later. I had some ideas on what my offense was going to be, and I kind of felt comfortable leaving it because I had like a few options for what my fourth pick could be. So I was quite happy just to go in for my Dragonsteel Fairy Core at the start, and somehow, someway we managed to get Clefable second. So how this thing managed to last up until like pick 20 odd, I don't know. Usually you see it go in round 2, but it just managed to make its way back to me, and we've got Clefable again. So for those who probably weren't aware, I had a really nice Dragonsteel Fairy Core in the PCL. I had Naganadal, Clefable, and Mega Sizzle, and albeit Mega Latias is not Naganadal, it's very different, but Clefable is just one of those mons that you can put on any team, and it's just very, very good. Its abilities are two of the best in the game. I'd say Magic Guard is really nice, protects against hazards, protects against potential toxic, and it's kind of hard for opposition coaches to be able to prep for it, because it could be one of those two abilities. Like Unaware, if you have a lot of setup, is going to be a fantastic, or if the opponent has a lot of setup, it's going to be a fantastic option. So on top of that, it's got pretty decent bulk. Like, I don't know what it is with Clefable, it just always seems to live. It always just, its bulk, like its stats isn't that great, but it just always lives. It's just so fat, and the fairy typing is just so nice, especially in leagues. Its coverage, because it's a former normal type, is also just ridiculous. It gets like a move of every type effectively. Top of that, it gets Calm Mind, it gets Cosmic Power, it gets Aromatherapy, Wish. It's just a great mon. Again, it complements Latias really nicely, because a lot of people will probably go for like a toxic stalling way of dealing with Mega Lati, and at least Clefable can come in and it can just remove that toxic with Heal Bell or Aromatherapy. So on top of that, it's like a threat on its own. Life Orb sets aren't bad. It also, like after a couple of Calm Minds, is doing a lot of damage. It gets moves like Knock Off as well, and Stealth Rock, one of the best Stealth Rockers in the game. So yeah, Clefable, just a fantastic mon. Really complements Mega Latias nicely. And rounding off our Dragonsteel Fairy Core, we managed to get Heatran in round 3. It was actually my first choice option. Like, I wasn't expecting to get all 3 of these mons, but somehow I managed to get all 3. So yeah, really happy with the initial core that I drafted. Very fat, but at the same time, like, you can't sleep on Offensive Heatran. Offensive Heatran does a lot of damage, and yeah, again, another great Stealth Rocker. I think I've picked up like 2 of the best Stealth Rockers in the game, and a great defog option in Latias. So yeah, Heatran again is one of those mons that it can be offensive, it can be defensive. Its typing is fantastic, and with Flash Fire as well, it gives me a nice fire check. Like, fire's types just generally aren't very good against my team at this point. So yeah, Heatran, I don't even know what to say about it. It's just a strong special attacker, great stealth rocker, has phasing moves as well, like Roar. It gets access to moves like Dragon Pulse and Earth Power as well, which is really nice coverage should I need it. But most of the time I'm going to be running like a Lava Plume Stealth Rock set or something like Magma Storm. It's not a Z user, unfortunately. I did kind of want it to be a Z user, but yeah, not the case, unfortunately. It also gets Taunt as well, which is really nice. Makes it a solid lead as well. And yeah, that kind of rounds out my first 3 picks. Like, I was really happy going into my 4th pick, and like I said, I was fairly confident I was going to get my 4th pick, because not a lot of people draft this in League format, and that is Keldeo. Keldeo generally just really complements Mega Latias nicely. The main issues that that Mega Latias has is Dark types, and Keldeo just doesn't care. Like, Keldeo can get rid of Dark types. It also gets rid of Ghost types pretty well as well. But just a really strong special attacker. Again, it's not got a bad attack stat. It can be used, like, it does have some physical moves as well. Access to Calm Mind, access to like quite a bit of coverage actually, like a surprising amount of coverage. Don't think people give credit to the amount of coverage it gets, mostly because I think that coverage is physical. But in League format you can run mixed and get away with it, because sometimes there's like a ×4 weakness and you can just take advantage of it. So yeah, Keldeo just really is a nice special attacking wall breaker. Great Scarf option, because outside of Heatran I felt like I didn't really have a Scarf option in my team at this point. So Keldeo fills that gap entirely. It also gets access to Swords Dance, it gets access to Taunt, and yeah, I think it's quite a one-dimensional Pokemon, but at the same time it's just very good at what it does, and it does complement the team really nicely. And the only issue I had was going into my 5th pick, and I was only just coming aware of it like after I picked Keldeo. It's pretty much everything I have is special, or primarily special at this point. So I was really kind of looking around, and I realised that most of my team from now on kind of needs to be physical. It needs to give me some kind of physical pressure, so don't just run Assault Vest. Obviously Keldeo gets Secret Sword, so it's a secret or sacred that hits on. It's Secret Sword that hits on the physical side. But at the same time, like, they can run an Assault Vest, and my team might struggle against that. So I started picking up some physical mons. Starting up, I picked up Crobat, and Crobat is one of those mons that, again, it doesn't have like the best offensive stats, but it's very quick and surprisingly bulky. Again, another bulkier mon, but really wants that base 130 speed stat. That's generally a point of which, like, I like to have like a 130, then a 115, then 110, and then 100. It's like somewhere around there, because it's able to then be able to outspeed most of the like general monster battle boosting items by itself, and it can nearly always get a defog off. I needed a second good defogger, especially with my plan. I really needed a second good hazard removal, because one of my other hazard removals is not great. But yeah, Crobat just fills up another hole in the team. Flying spam is always great, even from like a non-invested Brave Bird is doing a lot of damage. And it does get other options as well, like a Nasty Plot special set. It gets things like U-Turn, which is really nice. It gets Taunt, I believe. So we've got a lot of Taunt users. Yeah, it gets Taunt, it gets Whirlwind, it gets Tailwind, Super Fang. A ton of options. Pursuit as well. If I'm coming up against something that I really want to trap, then Pursuit obviously very nice. And yeah, generally Poison Flying is quite a nice defensive type, as well as in this meta, especially with all the Tapus around. I feel like it's a very good attacking typing as well. That Poison might actually come in handy. This is also as a user, and I'm sorry if you just heard my stomach rumble. Like I haven't eaten breakfast this morning, so it's kind of going all over the place. But yeah, Crobat again, I just felt was like it's a speed stat that I really wanted to hit. Another great defogger. It's just also a mon I wanted to use. I haven't used it in League format at all yet. And again, this is a Z user for the team, and my next Z user is my next draft pick, and it's kind of like a staple of grey teams at this point. I picked up Lycanroc Dusk. It's the first time I think that I may have picked up Dusk outside of the IBA, where unfortunately I had to drop because of issues in real life. But yeah, Lycanroc is absolutely like it's a really strong physical wall breaker, and I needed something that could do that on this team. And with it being Z as well, it gets Splintered Storm Shards. I don't think there's anything in the game that really takes a Splintered Storm Shards unless it's resisted and has a good defense stat. So, and anything that does resist it usually is taken out by Drill Run. So yeah, Lycanroc is a really strong mon. It's something I always like using. It's got a good speed stat, fantastic attack with that Tough Claws, and actually a relatively good move pool. Not to mention it can be run as like a sort of lead Stealth Rocker as well. It gives me a third Stealth Rock option, a more offensive Stealth Rock option on the team. And yeah, it's one of those mons that it's always going to do damage. Like Accel Rock is always going to do damage to something that isn't resisted. If you're weak to it, I know it does like 90% or something to an uninvested Thundurus, because I remember that calc. Like I remember that specifically in IBA. I lost to Thundurus week 1 because Accel Rock did like 90%. It didn't kill it. So unfortunately I didn't have my rocks up in that game and I just lost. But another Taunt user, should I want to use it, like I said, it gets a lead set with Stealth Rock, Taunt, Endeavour, stuff like that with Focus Sash. Not the optimal way of using it, but at the same time it's not a terrible way of using it. It's kind of like a budget Infernape in that sense, but with a worse typing, and no defenses at all. But yeah, just generally a really strong mon, and Lycanroc has always been one of those mons that I just really enjoy using in League format. Usually I use Day and do alright with it, so surely I can do alright with Dusk as well. So moving on, we have yet another defogger, and at this point I needed a grass and electric type, and I was looking at things I was looking at bulky grasses, I was looking at bulky electrics, or fast electrics even, not bulky electrics, and just came to the conclusion that I could save myself some points and get Rotom Mow instead. Because as you can see, like I used up a lot of my budget in those first 6 picks, and albeit Rotom Mow is 10 points as well, it does give me 2 typings that I desperately needed on the team, as well as another defogger. It's like pretty decent utility as well. Another mon that can set up screens. It gets access to like, but its move pool is pretty terrible in terms of attacking. It's just dual stabs, Shadow Ball, Dark Pulse, Signal Beam. I could throw in the odd Sucker Punch here and there, I guess, but it does get access to all of the statuses. It gets Will-O-Wisp, Toxic, and Thunder Wave, which is really nice. Pain Split is a great move to have as well because it gets a low HP, so if you come up against someone with a high HP, then you're pretty much getting like half your health back. It's almost like having a reliable recovery, almost. But yeah, Rotom is just another one of those mons that you can splash on a team and it more often than not will do the job pretty well. If I don't want to run Defog on Crobat or Latias, if I'm running like a setup Mega Latias, I'm running like a Z Crobat, then maybe I just want to throw in Rotom and that could be my defogger for the week. But moving on, we've got like a few more budget picks, and first up I picked up Spiritomb. I'm not sure how I feel about this pick. Spiritomb I always wanted to use, but I'm not really sure how it works on this team. I've got a lot of bulk as it is, and it does a similar thing to Mega Latias, just a lot worse with a arguably better typing. But it's mainly kind of going to be there for things like Memento. It could be a Nasty Plot or Calm Mind setup sweeper, but at the same time it's so slow it's going to be outsped by everything. If we got a Trick Room, I don't think it gets Trick Room, but if we got a Trick Room, then this thing would be actually really, really good. Memento is always nice to have on a team. I've got Memento and Healing Wish, so I've got two ways of bringing a Pokemon in for almost for free, so that's always nice to have. Gets access to Sucker Punch as well, Shadow Sneak. Its move pool is very, very shallow. It only really gets Ghost and Dark type moves, so yeah, it's kind of lacking a little bit in that sense. Most of the time you're going to run like 3 Dark type moves setup, or 3 Dark type moves, Will-O-Wisp, something like that. Another Taunt user, but a slow one, so probably not outspeeding anything, unless somehow I get some kind of like Trick Room set. But I don't think I have a Trick Room user on my entire team, so that's not going to work. But yeah, Spiritomb was mainly there because it filled up 2 typings that I needed, and I don't think necessarily that I needed Ghost at this point. I was kind of looking at it as like, oh, normal spam isn't like it's pretty good against my team, but at the same time it's just kind of not needed. So I don't know. Spiritomb may be one of those things that gets traded away mid-season, but we'll see. It might be handy one week. So moving on, we have got that's Lycan Rock. We'll move on to Crustle, and I think I sniped like 4 people with this pick. Crustle is duplicate typing in Rock, my team, but at the same time, like I said, normal spam for whatever reason was still scaring me, and I decided I'm going to pick up Crustle because it gives me plenty of hazards. Like it gets Spikes, Stealth Rock. It doesn't get Toxic Spikes, unfortunately, but Spikes is really nice, and it also gives me something of like, it can be a scary setup sweeper. Like it does get access to Shell Smash. Its speed stat is still pretty bad, so there's a good chance that I may need to run 2 Shell Smashes to be able to get that, or run Weak Armor. But without Sturdy, it means that now I've got to run Focus / Weak Armor Shell Smash, and I'm not sure really how that works out. But it does get some decent moves outside of that. It gets Earthquake, it gets Dual Stabs, obviously, Knock Off, Poison Jab, so it's a decent mon. Like, it's not bad at all, but I mainly got it there for the Spikes, Stealth Rock and Spikes, obviously. It is like a potential physical late game sweeper as well, so there's that. But for 4 points, like, I felt like I couldn't really go wrong with Crustle. Looking around in that points tier, there was really no other spikers that I wanted. Glalie kind of sucks, so yeah, we kind of settled with Crustle and somehow managed to snipe half the league with it as well. And yeah, I really have nothing else to say about Crustle. It's a Crustle. So second to last pick, we picked up Seismitoad, and I think this was something of a panic pick. I, for whatever reason, decided that I want to pick up my last pick, and now I realise how bad it is. I want to drop it, but I wanted to pick up Seismitoad, and it was just I wanted to pick up the last pick even, and Seismitoad just kind of fit the criteria of what I was needing. I was needing a bulky ground type and something with physical attack as well. So I'm almost definitely going to trade this away, but it's gonna, like, it's one of those mons that gives me another 4 times weakness, and I have only Heatran at the moment that gives me a 4 times weakness, and having a 4x meter to grass and ground is generally quite nice, because it's going to mean that some mons are going to have to decide between running like a grass type move or running a ground type move against me. But at the same time, I feel like I just needed something different. Like after using like building for the first week, I love Seismitoad, it's a great mon, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love it, but it just doesn't really fit what I need on this team. And as you can see, I'm like really lacking reliable recovery outside of my first 2 mons in Crobat, and I like to have plenty of reliable recovery. So yeah, we'll see, because I don't want to run Wish on Clefable each week, which means Seismitoad is going to get whistled down pretty quickly. But it does fill that need, that void that I had for a ground type. I desperately needed one, and towards the end of the draft, there really wasn't a whole lot left. So, like I said, my last pick, for some reason, I had my heart set on picking it, and it's absolute trash. So, yeah, Seismitoad was kind of the best I could pick up, but I think there is a better ground type that I'm going to be trading away for after week 1, and yeah, so don't expect Seismitoad to be around for too long. And yeah, our final pick, for some reason I decided I wanted Unpheasant, and it doesn't get Brave Bird. If it got Brave Bird, it wouldn't be terrible at all, but it doesn't get Brave Bird. Its best flying type stab is Pluck. Need I say more? Yeah, it's terrible. I want to say something good about it, but it's a decent defogger. It's got a good attack stat, and it gives me a speed tier that isn't terrible. I was lacking a spot between like Rotom Mow and Keldeo, I think, so I needed something in like the high 90s, base 100 maybe, and I picked up Unpheasant that's like 93 base speed, I believe. It's just terrible. Like, I kind of wanted to bring it to my week 1. Spoilers, I've already played week 1. I wanted to bring it to my week 1, but it's so bad. Like, I'd have to run Flyneum Z, and even then, like, a Z Pluck isn't doing much more than Brave Bird would, and that means you're stuck with Pluck after that first turn. So, yeah, if you couldn't tell, I'm definitely trading this thing away. Like, yeah, it's gone. Like week 1, it's after week 1 it's going. So I'm not going to say anything more about Unpheasant, but that is the team. Generally, I'm happy with it. Like, I feel like I got some really decent mons. Just kind of towards the end, I think I started just panic picking a little bit and just picking up typings more than things that I generally needed on this team. Like, I picked up Crossil because I needed spikes, but I've got like, what, 4 Stealth Rockers on this team already? Like, yeah, Seismitoad, Lycanroc, Heatran, Clefable. I don't need another lot of rocks. I could have picked up something like Garbodor that would be much more helpful, or Quillfish. I love Quillfish, it's one of my favourite mons. Now give me Spikes and T-Spikes instead of Spikes and Stealth Rock. But I feel like generally Cross will have better utility. Spiritomb, I'm unsure on. I might keep it, might not. I'm not entirely sure at this point. And Unpheasant, it's gone. It's if you ever want to draft this thing, just don't. It's so bad. It's so bad. Yeah, that wraps up the team. I'm hopeful for this season. Like, I feel like my top tier picks are really good. There's good synergy, plenty of utility as well. So we'll see. Week 1 will be up against D. I don't know if I'll do a team builder or not. I haven't decided whether I'm going to do team builders this season or whether I'm just going to do the team builder, like a brief recap of the team builder before the battle. But we're going to see. We're going up against D and his St. Louis Booloos. He has a terrifying team. He is a terrifying battler. One of the best, I would say, in the community. I think very underrated. Doesn't get nearly as much love as he should. He's literally winning like every league that he's in. So, yeah, that will be going up next Saturday. I know this is uploaded on Sunday, but there's reasons for that. I just haven't had time at all to record this until Sunday morning. So, yeah, it's going up on the Sunday, but UPBA battles will be going up on the Saturday. Generally, if I do a team builder, they'll be up on the Fridays. So, yeah, if you are hyped for the season, then please do leave a like. It shows that you support not only myself but the league as well. So yeah, for me that means as much, like probably more, that you support the league than you support myself. And yeah, having any kind of like I don't know, I'm going on a tangent, so I'm just going to end the video. Have a great day, guys. I will see you in hopefully week 1 of hopefully week 1. I will see you in week 1 of the UPBA against D. And yeah, have a great, guys. Peace.